Okay, we're on the third tape. We're on section 3. We're reading John Jeckovich's book, and it's titled "A House and No Home," and we're on page 6, and the book is entitled "Their Mother's Son." This is the third section from 6/19/24. So here we go. They just moved into the house after several other rentals. They finally got a house at 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York. Mr. Jeckovich's parents purchased the house with a modest down payment and a 20-year mortgage payment
From Mr. Belden.
from Mr. Belden, a mortgage broker. And we're told by my mother, John Jeckovich's mother, that when they moved into that summer, they had only $5 left to their names. Okay, my parents had purchased a new house on a modest down payment and a 20-year mortgage from Mr. Belden, a mortgage broker. We were told by my mother that when we moved into that summer, they had only $5 left to their collective names.
Yeah.
The people living downstairs at the time of purchase were sloppy and poor housekeepers. One of the first assigned tasks was to clean out the basement of the large pile of ashes from the coal-burning furnace. Have a nice evening. Take care. Take care.
You too.
There were no. The first task was to cleaning a large pile of ashes in the basement from the coal-burning furnace. Who had to do that?
Huh?
Whose chore was that?
Mine.
No one else's.
Yeah, I bought a wheelbarrow from Sears and Roebuck's and put the ashes in the holes of the alley.
I remember taking 30 to 35 bushels of ashes. How could that guy have let it go so many ashes?
It was a bunch of Scotsmen.
He just was that dirty. They let it go that much.
Shook the grates when it got up to the top where you wouldn't get any air. Opened the door, you got a show on the street, on the side, and that was it.
What type of work did he do?
He was a plumber.
And he didn't really.
Amendola.
He just threw the mess.
Yeah.
30 to 35 bushels of ashes.
Amendola.
Yeah, from the cellar.
And they both. Wheeler was the other one. They both married nurses.
No kidding. From ashes from the cellar and depositing them in the alley behind the house. This was comparatively easy chore since the alley was full of holes and needed filling. Was the alley a cement or was it tar?
Oh, it was cinders.
Cinders.
Yeah.
How many years?
10, 15 years later, they tarred it, then they cemented it.
10 or 15 years later.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable. The downstairs tenants did not stay long. Surrounding the house was a large empty field with only 6 or 7 houses on the entire street. Boy, that must have been nice to see all those empty fields when you first moved in. With only 6 or 7 houses on it.
You could sit in your porch and there's nothing obstructing you to see the fire hall because there's no buildings or nothing there.
Unbelievable.
That's where we buried the cats.
Right? Did you see many deers or raccoons in those fields?
No, they scattered into the woods.
So you didn't see many wildlife in those fields?
No.
Did you fish in the creek? Did you fish in the Gill Creek?
Did I swim?
Fish in Gill Creek. Did you fish?
No, you couldn't fish in there. Creek was brown.
Water
was brown.
Did you swim in the creek?
No.
Did you ice skate in the creek?
Ice skated in when it froze up. I used to go there all the way down to Hyde Park.
Did your mother or father ever ice skate?
No. Nope.
It sounds like the only thing they did was work.
Huh?
It sounds like the only thing your mother and father did was work.
And fight.
Work.
Oh.
Your parents, only thing it seems like they did was the work.
Well,
they were hard
had to make a
workers.
living.
They were hard workers.
They were living on nickels and dimes.
They were hard workers.
Yeah.
That's where you got it from. Yeah. Surrounding the house was large empty fields with only 6 or 7 houses on the entire street. I would love to have seen that. There were no sidewalks and the street was unpaved. I would love to have seen that. During the first winter, a V-plow pulled a horse that would come down the path in the front of the house to clear the snow. So the first year you were there, it was a horse-drawn plow.
The what?
The first year you were there, it was a horse-drawn snowplow.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
yeah.
Preparing for the first winter was a learning experience. As we were heating with coal furnace, a good supply of seasoned wood had to be available all winter. This was piled up along the west wall of the cellar and reached to the ceiling, extending most of the length of the wall. A coal bin had to be fabricated to hold at least 10 tons of pea coal. What is pea coal?
Pea coal is real small coal.
Where do you get that at?
It got it from Empire.
They delivered it?
Yeah, dumped it, all the cellar doors dumped it in.
Do you ever see any pea coal today?
No, I don't see, well, I don't see coal, I don't see coal furnaces anymore either.
Nothing, yeah. For the use throughout the winter months. It had to be so arranged that the coal was accessible from a slot in the bottom of the bin.
Yeah, and you had a brick there, you kept raising the brick as the coal receded, we were using it, yeah, open that up to get more coal out.
And still contained the coal in the bin. Throughout the preparations of the winter months, I do not recall either of my brothers participating to a great extent. What usually was the case, I was told that what needed to be done, and I was left to my own resourcefulness. There are some of the few times my father communicated directly to me, it was always in the manner of do this and do that. Period. I was 13 years old and my brothers were 15 and my younger brother was 11 the first winter on Orleans Avenue.
They put all storm windows up too.
Oh, wow. I enjoyed ice skating on Gill Creek near our house and on the vacant field surrounding us. The first real hard freeze, we would open the fire hydrant in the field and flood the good part of it. Steve and I and some neighborhood kids would play hockey all winter. We also played at night as there was a street light in the vicinity. Could you imagine today if kids open up a fire hydrant? Imagine the trouble they would have got into today.
Yeah.
Not back
They
then.
come up on the fire hall.
Yeah, not back then. After playing for several hours in near zero weather, we looked forward to coming home in a warm, cozy atmosphere produced by the coal-fired furnace.
20 minutes.
The Howland furnace put out for it.
Coal-fired furnace. After changing our wet, snow-covered clothes in the basement, we would watch the red-hot coals burning in the box, burning in the firebox of the furnace, and occasionally open the fire door and throw in a wooden stick into the fire and watch it burn. There are a few times that's the few times Steve and I would ever do anything together.
Yeah, that's why I printed that thing over the door of the furnace.
Oh, wow. It's
JJ,
just your initials, right?
yeah.
The bakery several blocks away was always a source of constant anticipation and joy. We could almost smell the baked goods
Bakery.
all the way to our house. It was usually my chore to go to the bakery at 5 a.m. for fresh jelly donuts.
The Punchkis.
Punchkis, that was a Polish term?
Huh?
Was that a Polish term, punchki?
Yeah, Punchkis, yeah. Get a dozen Punchkis.
Who would you give the jelly donuts to? Who would eat the jelly donuts?
Well, I went home, yeah.
But you had to go and get them, but who would you bring them to?
Bring it home.
And who would eat them?
Well, the kids and my mother and father.
And they look forward to the punchkis, right?
Yeah, punchkis. Get a dozen punchkis. That was probably 29 cents.
No kidding. A dozen?
Yeah.
Wow. Walking on the hard crusted snow on a brisk morning and hearing your boots walking on a hard crusted snow on a brisk morning and hearing your boots crunching on the snow, and then walking into the warm bakery, it was delicious aroma with sheer delight. Was that the bakery on 30th and Niagara Street?
Yeah, that was about the Holland basement in the cellar.
And it would later turn into a bar, right?
You know what?
Years later, it turned into a bar, a tavern. The Bakery Bar and Grill.
What did it turn out?
When that bakery closed, didn't it turn into a bar, a tavern? A tavern?
Oh, the bakery.
Yeah.
Oh, that kid got hurt. They shut the bakery down.
So then it later became a bar.
Yeah, what the hell is the name of it?
Bakery Bar and Lounge.
Price Spot or something. Damn thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. The baker would usually give me an extra donut to eat on my way home. That was nice.
Yeah.
So you love jelly donuts then, right?
Baker's dozen. 13.
Was that your favorite donut, a jelly donut?
Yeah, punchkis, yeah.
Punchkis. Did it have like powder on the top or no powder on the top?
But they had some white sugar on top, yeah.
So jelly donuts were your favorite.
Yeah.
Are they still your
They
favorite?
had cream donuts too.
What was your favorite donut?
I said jelly.
And that to this date's your favorite.
Yeah.
And you still call them punchkis?
Punchkis, yeah.
You still, when you go to a bakery now, do you ask for punchki?
They don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what you're talking about. What the hell are you talking about? What's that, dope?
You are hilarious. They don't know a damn thing about a punchki then.
Yeah.
And maybe if you went to a Polish neighborhood,
Huh?
maybe if you went to a Polish neighborhood, you would. You know, a Polish,
That was a Polish neighborhood.
they were not,
Canada Avenue, East Fall Street.
yeah, but I'm saying today,
Only Daisy's was on Forest Avenue.
but I'm saying today, if you went to a Polish neighborhood today, they probably knew what punchki was.
They know what you're talking about.
No, you're talking about, okay. Okay. So the baker would give you an extra donut to eat on the way home.
13 donuts, yeah.
Wow,
13 punchkis.
and what'd you call it, 13 donuts?
Huh?
What was that called, 13 donuts?
How much it cost?
No, what did you call donuts that had 13 in them? Did you say they're a baker's dozen or something?
13 was the count.
Yeah, but wouldn't you call those the baker's dozen when they put an extra donut in there?
They called it a baker's dozen.
Yeah, okay. The baker would usually give me an extra donut to eat on the way home. I could eat a dozen of them. You could eat a dozen
yeah.
donuts?
Right?
You could eat a dozen donuts if you wanted to?
Yeah.
Jeez. As the weather became improved and it became warmer, there are many tasks to complete in our surroundings. My father, an experienced mason, made sidewalks with a first priority on the right side of the house. I was helping him on these projects. My brothers did not participate in any of these work details.
Who did it?
You helped your father make sidewalks at Orleans Avenue,
Yeah.
but your brothers did not participate.
No, they're gone. They were gone.
Strangely enough, my parents did not object, nor did they afford any reason why my brothers should not help. While working with my father, there was no personal relationship, or for that matter, no small talk to us. He would tell me what he wanted done, and I would go and do it. And that was that. When we would finish for the day, or when my older brother would come around, my father would converse with him in a personal way.
Yeah.
He would ask about his school.
They ate separately too.
Oh, well, that's
My
very,
father and Steve and my mother ate separately.
that's very strange.
And then after they finished eating, we sat at the table with 2 kids and me.
That's very strange. He would ask about school and inform my brother how he was progressing on a cement job. He would never mention that I was helping him or question why my brother was not helping. Steve never felt guilty about not helping or even talked to me about it. My younger brother, Lucky, was also excluded from these chores with no excuses given. So you had to do everything.
Yeah.
You had to do everything.
Huh?
You had to do all the work around the house.
Yeah. They were always busy. Everywhere else was busy.
It was
He
at
was
this
his favorite son. He didn't do nothing.
It was at this time, early spring or summer, I became aware of the situation in my family group. As the squabbles became more frequent and intense, I realized that I was in the middle of it all. I would come to the defense of my mother when my father became abusive, especially when he was physically abusive. My brothers would not come to the aid of my mother as I did, but took a positive role in these incidents and took more passive role in these instances. My older brother would just ignore it most of the time and walk away and go out and see his friends. The times my younger brother was home, he would say something sarcastic and walk out of the house. My sister would just sob most of the time and stay and watch what was going on. The arguments were nothing serious in nature. My father did not drink, gamble, or carouse. They were mostly small, trivial, inconsequential.
Well, there was a lot of times we slept in the Packard in the garage.
Yeah, subjects. They were no great importance. So all these little spats were no great importance.
Huh?
All these little spats, there was nothing really to fight over. It was just a.
Yeah. But money. That was all. Nickels and dimes.
Any mail?
It's a holiday.
Oh, there's no mail today.
Huh?
It's no mail today. It's a holiday.
No mail today, it's a holiday.
No mail today. It's a holiday. The mailmen and banks are closed today.
Oh.
No mail, no banks.
What's today, Monday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's called Juneteenth.
Oh.
Juneteenth. It's just a holiday. No one's working today. That's why you had a different person up there. Everyone was off today.
Huh?
No banks, no work, no post offices, nothing. All
Those
closed.
ones are closed too?
Everything. Everything was closed today. Walmart was open though. Walmart was open.
Yeah. Yeah, Christ. You think of it, it's no better than what 25 years ago.
Yeah. I think everyone after these spats became between my parents, I would be occurred one night. I went to school the next morning. Wait a second. Okay, all these fights were inconsequential subjects of no great importance. There were times when I thought I was at fault since I was present at most of them. I do not think I instigated them. When I was told to do something, I did it without making a fuss or thinking of it be slighted or picked up. Even though my brothers did not have the workload I had, I never complained to them or my parents. I always thought that's the way it was. After one of these spats between my parents, and especially when they occurred at night before I went to school the next morning, I could not get the incident out of my mind. I did not eat, nor did I want to go to school, and when I went, I could not keep my mind on my studies. I was thinking everyone in the class knew my parents were fighting. What a situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids were tough there, boy.
Yeah, but just think right now as we're talking, how many young kids are going through the same thing
Yeah.
right now, especially when they bring a man in a house that's just a boyfriend,
Yeah.
and not the real father of the kids, just
Yeah.
a boyfriend, and he doesn't give a shit
Yeah.
about anything or anybody. He's just
his wounds, yeah.
he's just raising hell.
Yeah.
Raising hell. There's a lot of that going on. It makes me sad and sick.
Yeah.
Throughout-
Those kids don't have much of a life.
Nope. Throughout these contentious struggles, my brothers did not perceive or attain the emotional upheaval I felt. Steve would arise in the morning as nothing happened, displaying a cavalier, disdainful attitude about the entire issue. Lucky, on the other hand, would be despondent and moody and sulk, never saying anything. On occasion, he would say something derisive and leave the house. My sister being younger, took it more seriously. She would be greatly upset during the argument, and I would come to console her the best way I knew how. The next morning she'd be completely recovered and brought up some fashion, and she would soon be upset all over again.
Yeah, correct.
The greatest toll it's taken on my well-being was the aftermath of the fights. It'd be a silent treatment on my parents, part for weeks on the end. Life went on in a family group, but under different conditions.
One wasn't talking to the other.
That's hard. The greatest toll taken on my well-being was the aftermath of the fights. It'd be the silent treatment on my parents, parts for weeks on end. Life went on in a family group, but under difficult situations. The normal routine of everyday tasks were heartbreaking to accomplish. My mother would not talk to my father, and my father would not talk to my mother. They anticipated each other's needs, get his meals, set his work clothes out, leave out
Well, my mother started crying right away. That's why we wound up in a super garage.
leave out the bills to be paid at the grocery, booked on the kitchen cupboard as a signal they needed grocery money. These were all accomplished with minimum amount of conversation, most of the time with none at all. Whew. Throughout these long, drawn-out sieges, Steve was oblivious to it all.
Yeah, those two kids, they didn't, when they were fighting like that at home, my mother and father, he had to go to scout meeting, he just go.
Ah,
I said, I thought to myself, how the hell could he go easy, calm, and stay till about 10 o'clock at Reynolds Self-Master's house on 27th, on Main Street someplace, 322.
wow.
He'd go there for 4 times a week.
No
And
kidding.
when they're fighting and that, he just leave.
Just leave, yeah. Yeah.
They never got involved. Steve look, they never got involved.
That's something.
And I was the oddball.
Throughout these long, drawn-out sieges, Steve was oblivious to it all. He would go in as nothing was happening, talk to my parents, ask them for assorted items, money for lunch, permission to go out that night, and whatever was on his mind. My parents talked to him separately as if there was nothing wrong. I sometimes believe they lived two different worlds, greatly apart from one another.
Yeah, he was an asshole about Jimmy Duncan.
Oh, minutes?
6.
I envied my brother's complete detachment and wished that I could do the same. I wondered why they entangled myself with the parents' problems. After pondering a great deal of soul-searching, I came to the conclusion that I would become involved solely on the belief that we're a family unit and that I should take an active
I
part
thought it was a family. Yeah.
of this function.
Yeah.
I could not become detached. These were my parents. I could not hurt them, even if they had hurt me many times. I attributed most of it all to my parents' problems, to the shortage of readily available funds. Same thing today. Many families are breaking up because of a money problem.
Yeah.
Probably more now than back then,
Yeah.
because everything's so expensive now.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to work 3 jobs just to buy groceries. So a lot of parents today,
A lot of families are broken up, boy.
because of the money problems.
Yeah.
Money is the major issue. Money's the major issue. As they had mortgaged their home, they were making monthly payments. They did not have much money left for everyday living expenses. As a consequence, both my parents worked constantly to make ends meet. My father had a local plant and evenings and Saturdays on odd jobs. My mother shifted from one job to another depending on how and where available work was. My brothers and I also obtained part jobs in the early minutes.
Well, we had paper routes too.
Did you have a pretty big paper route?
Stevie had it, he didn't do nothing. He said, I'm not doing this. I wound up with it. I had 57 paper routes.
Were they Polish newspapers? Were they
Polish and American.
So what happens when you got paid? Did you have to give it to your parents?
Yeah.
Did they appreciate the money you turned in?
They took it?
Yeah, did
Yeah,
they?
they said, well, thank you for helping.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
That's damn good. That's damn good.
yeah.
My brothers and I also obtained part-time jobs early in our youth while still in school.
Yeah, but look, he worked at a bowling alley. He got paid there. He never gave them the money, though.
Never gave him a dime.
I don't know what the hell he did with his money. Drinking, I guess.
Oh, no. Steve had various part-time jobs in his early youth while a local supermarket. What did Steve do at the supermarket?
Clerk. I worked in the supermarket. I hated that job.
Why?
You go in after school, fix shelves up, put stuff on this shelf, clean, mop the floor and all that shit. Get home about 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Landis, Mr. Landis.
Steve would also caddy on weekends at the country club. At various times, I would substitute for him at the supermarket. When he was a school function or away or a scouting camp trip, he was not aware of the money situation at home, nor did he much care. He was immaterial to him, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
It was immaterial to him whether he worked or not. I believe most of the money that he did earn were probably utilized for his own benefit. It did not seem to bother my parents. They are used to this approach. At least he was never confronted with it. Looky had jobs far similar to Steve's or mine. He had jobs where he went beyond the usual time at night that our age group would reasonably to be out. They were mostly bowling alleys, sitting pins, working at 2 or 3 in the morning at various parking garages, parking cars into the early hours in the morning. Consequently, he would miss much school since he could not. How much time? 2?
Yeah.
Let me call you right back. Consequently, he would miss much school since he could not get up the following morning. I remember many times mother literally throwing water at him,
Yeah.
attempting to wake him up. I do not think much of his money earned went into the family coffers. My after-school job consisted of substituting for Steve at the supermarket. I did that quite often. A year later, I was an usher at the movie theater in our city. You like the movie theater job, right?
Yeah.
Being an usher, yeah.
Bernard's Greek.
Yeah. This involved working from 6 p.m. until closing, which was usually around 11:30 or midnight. I had the job for about a year until I was in junior high school. And plus, you got to see all the movies.
What?
You got to see all the movies as your job as an usher at the movie
He
theater.
was watching. He said, if you're standing there looking at the movie, you're done.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I go up and down that aisle looking for seats.
They'd fire you on the spot
Yeah.
if you're watching a movie.
Canaris, yeah. Canaris.
Time?
Mr. Canaris.
Under 1.
I can recall on Sunday nights how extremely busy and crowded the movie theater was. People were standing 6 to 10 deep, wow. And we had to put up a rope barriers around the aisles to keep them clear.
Yeah.
Large crowds would make me uneasy, and the chief usher, Al Rizzo, seemed my uneasiness and tried.
Rizzo, yeah, he was chief usher. He was a good guy, nice guy. He got in the service, he got killed in the service.
Oh no. He seen my uneasiness and tried to help me any way he could. He was considerate, kind, and generous. During the war years, he achieved an appointment to Annapolis and went to become a torpedo bomber pilot off of a Navy aircraft carrier.
Wrap it up.
What Navy aircraft carrier?
pilot,
Lost?
he became